Hi there, and welcome to this introduction to a couple of tools that have come out of the Evidence Synthesis Hackathon. This was a presentation intended for the Cochrane Tech session before the Cochrane Colloquium in 2019 that was unfortunately not able to go ahead. So I'm here representing the Evidence Synthesis Hackathon. If you want to know more about the Evidence Synthesis Hackathon, you can go to eshhackathon.org. You can follow me, Neal Haddaway, on Twitter, or the ESH Hackathon organization on Twitter. I am representing a number of organizations. I'm a senior research fellow at the Stockholm Environment Institute right now, a research associate at the Africa Centre for Evidence, and I'm the director of the Collaboration for Environmental Evidence Centre at SEI. And we would like to thank a number of funders for being able to conduct the hackathon series. Initially, it was Mistra EVM, the University of New South Wales in Sydney, and the Australian National University Fenner School of Environment and Society. So thanks very much to them. I'm also presenting this work from the hackathon on behalf of my colleague Martin Westgate from ANU, who helped to establish and run the hackathon series. So this first tool that I wanted to introduce is called Evi Atlas. It was conceived at the first ES Hackathon in Stockholm in 2018. This is the group who've worked on the tool primarily. There's Andrew Feierman, Matthew Granger, myself, Ezgi Tanriver Ida, Charles Gray, Martin Westgate, Sunita Dalbanjar, and Laura Del Duca. And you can find the app at estech.shinyapps.io/EviAtlas, and you can also find it via the ES Hackathon website. So when you go to the app, this is what you'll see. The tool was designed to help people to visualize evidence bases, primarily by locating each individual study on a cartographic map. So it's really useful if you have a data set that has latitude and longitude in it, where each line is a different point that will be displayed on a map. It's more useful than just being used in systematic maps. It can be used in systematic reviews and any kind of evidence synthesis, but can be used with any other data set as well that has latitude and longitude. And the idea is by uploading your data in the Data Attributes tab, you can then have a look at what we call an evidence atlas. In this evidence atlas, each dot, each point is a study aligned in your CSV file. And this CSV file can have a lot of different information associated with it as different columns. You need to have a latitude and longitude column, as you can see on the left here, but you can adjust what information pops up by adding different column labels to the pop-up. If you have any HTML links, like a link to the article on Google Scholar or on the publisher website, you can add these to the link column. And you can do various other things like coloring points by a certain variable. If you've got a categorical or a continuous variable, you can add color so that the points differ based on some variable. You can change the base map. You can cluster points instead of having individual points. You can show clusters so that when you click on a cluster, it will separate them. As you zoom in, then the cluster will separate. You can change the point size, change the clustering size, and add a title. And this is the kind of thing that you can create. This is from a systematic map on the impacts of buffer zones around agricultural fields. And once you've done this, you can save your map, and you can save your map either as a static visualization, a static picture image file, or as an interactive HTML. If you save it as an interactive HTML, when you download that HTML file contains all of the information that allows people to zoom in, click on the study, and see all of the information that you have set in your default view. It's then very easy to put that HTML on a website, to embed it in an iframe, if you're familiar with HTML, And you can make use of things like GitHub to create a free website. There's a video online that shows you how to do this in about 2 minutes. It's very quick. Other things you can do with the EviAtlas app are to examine and create or examine your database, your underlying CSV file, but you can create a nicely viewable database by changing which columns appear and filtering the data set. And you can download that filtered data as a nice table that you can then put into your systematic review or systematic map report as a supplementary file, or embed it as a table within your document. You can also produce some descriptive plots just by selecting common variables that you want. These are bar charts at the moment. We'll be introducing some other forms of descriptive plots like scatter plots as well. And you can produce a heat map, which is a cross-tabulation of two categorical variables. In this case, we've got the study period or the publication year period and the farming production system. And what this does is it tallies up the total number of studies in your database. So you can see where the gaps and clusters are across your variables of interest. And we're developing this to show it in a number of different ways, but you can download this as a static image and put that in your report. So this is what's been done with EviAtlas so far. We've got lots of different plans ahead to help people store their data, help users interact with it, as well as at the moment it's primarily for review authors or for people who want to interrogate a CSV that's been published alongside a systematic review. But lots of exciting plans ahead for EviAtlas and a huge amount of work that's gone into it. There is a methodology article that's been published in Environmental Evidence this year, and you can find that on the EviAtlas website. The second tool that I wanted to talk about is Grey Literature Reporter. It was produced at the second Evidence Synthesis Hackathon in Canberra by Mandan Corsi, who you can see on the right, and Chris Penkin. And this tool is for both tracking, i.e. reporting, and downloading sets of search results from any website where there's pattern data. So what we mean by pattern data is where you've got a set of search results from a search that's listed, like this example, which is Google Scholar. But the tool is website agnostic, so it will work with any website where there is a set of search results. It's currently usable as a Google Chrome extension. So you need to have Google Chrome, and you can download the Chrome extension from the Evidence Synthesis Hackathon website. So the way to use it is once you're at your search website, you click on the Chrome extension icon, and it asks you to input the search string, which in this case is South Africa. Once you've done that and clicked OK, it will ask you to select the first element from the list of results. As you hover over the set of search results, your mouse will highlight different blocks of information. And what you want to do is to highlight the full block of that first search result, which in this case is the veiled types of South Africa, in the green shaded area. Then once you've clicked on that, it will ask you to annotate your elements. And you can select which elements within your search results you want to export. In this case, for example, we can export the title. So we just type in the name title. You can also export the author, the publication year, the source, the short description, the number of citations held in Google Scholar, and a link to that entry. Then what it will do automatically is identify each set of search results. You can see it's ignored this related search section in the middle, which is great, but it will hopefully identify all of the 10 search results, if there are 10 in this case shown by Google Scholar, and it will ask you to select the pager. So what you do is you scan down and you identify this pager, which is the set of page results. Once you've selected that, it will be able to then run through the pages and extract all of the search results from each page. When you tell it how many pages to run, it will then download those search results. And what we'll do is download 3 files. And those files are a text file with the details of the search in the web environment. And that's really useful for reporting. It'll help you keep track of the date, the URL, and the search string you put in. It'll also download a CSV file, which is useful for you to play around with on your computer and to integrate into any manual systematic review screening, for example. But it'll also download a JSON file, which is a type of data file that can be used very readily by machines. What we're hoping is that this will then allow you to integrate better with other tools like review management software like EpiReviewer. Some of these search results, for example, from Google Scholar, will be already duplicated in your other searches from bibliographic databases like Web of Science core collections. And so by the next step that we're hoping to undertake is to produce a platform that allows you to put your JSON file into it, and it will find DOI information and produce nice citations, because what you extract from the internet based on this tool is just what you see. And so that platform will help you to turn what you see into a proper citation that you can then integrate into the rest of your searching and remove duplicates, or produce a nice citation for any grey literature that you found if they're available online. So we're hoping that this will really revolutionize grey literature searching and make it much more transparent. At the moment, it's a bit of a black box in systematic review searching. It's the part that is very difficult to keep track of, difficult to record. So this tool we're really hoping will revolutionize that. I find it really exciting. And then actually a third set of tools that have come out of the second Evidence Synthesis Hackathon as well that I wanted to talk about are metaphor reports and metadat. Metaphor is an R language package. It's a package for meta-analysis that is part of the R statistical program. It was produced by Wolfgang Wichbauer, and one of the functions within Metaphor, which is Metaphor Reports, was produced at the Evidence Synthesis Hackathon in 2018 in Stockholm. And the Metaphor Reports function takes a model. So if you write a specific meta-analytical model, it will then produce a paragraph of text automatically based on the results found to ensure that all of the relevant information is reported within that paragraph. So it allows you to write the text results from your results section automatically based on the model that you used. This is really useful to make sure that you've reported all of the right information correctly and you haven't missed anything out, but you're also doing it consistently, and it saves you time. The second product that Wolfgang and Daniel Noble produced in the second Evidence Synthesis Hackathon in Canberra in 2019 is called Metadat. This is a separate package that takes what was part of Metaphor originally, but improves it as well. And it is a sample standardized set of data sets for meta-analysis that then allows people to try out meta-analysis with data from various real examples. And the great thing about this is that the idea will be to collate examples from across disciplines, from ecology, environmental science, conservation, from healthcare, public health, social sciences, education, international development, any discipline, and allow students of meta-analysis to be able to try out their models and try out learning about meta-analysis with real data sets that are more likely to make sense to them. The idea is that this will be a searchable database so that you can identify relevant data sets based on perhaps a discipline that you're interested in, and it will be open to submissions of data as well. So if people want to have their data within Metadat, they can process it and upload it so that other people can have access to it. So along with those 3 tools that I've introduced you to. There are lots of other things that have come out of the Evidence Synthesis Hackathon. One is called Forester. It is an interactive web-based platform for visualizing forest plots from meta-analysis. So once you've conducted your meta-analysis, you can then play around with this tool and change how you visualize your data in a forest plot. For example, changing the sort order, changing clustering, and just allows you to produce nice forest plots. And the idea will be that will allow people to produce interactive forest plots as well that allow people to zoom in and see more detail or summarize if they want to. And that's a work in progress. I've already talked about Metadat and Metaphor reports. There's another project called Metaverse, which is an R consortium funded project to collate all tools as many tools as possible within the R statistical package, so all packages within R that relate to meta-analysis and systematic review, so that people can connect tools in a pipeline to construct a whole systematic review within R, which is so far quite challenging because it's difficult to know where those tools are and what they do. There's also a tool that Luke McGuinness from Bristol University has produced at one of the hackathons called RobVis, and this is a package for visualizing risk of bias scoring or processes within a systematic review. And there is also a research weaving package or project which aims to allow different tools to speak to one another more efficiently by maximizing interoperability of file types, so that you can do part of your review in one type and part in another type of tool, and just export your data and import it into another with ease. So there's loads going on, exciting things. And if you want to know more, please go to the eshackathon.org website. Thanks very much.